frustrating than having something to offer and nobody knowing who you are, and you having this amazing gift and this amazing talent, and being like in a witness protection program and nobody knowing who you are or how to be able to get in touch with you? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you the 3 Ds of being dynamic enough to be able to get people's attention, to maintain their attention all the way through to the end, so they hear whatever it is that you have to talk about, consider whatever it is you have to talk about, and eventually where people will be buying whatever it is that you're selling at the rate where you'll have to calm people down and let them know that these are the times and the slots for availability. These are the ways that you can be able to buy what it is that we're selling. Those things can be a reality in your life if you listen to today's video and learn the 3 Ds of being dynamic when you're getting and maintaining the person's attention. Okay, so let's jump straight into the idea. So first of all, let's define attention. What is attention? Attention are two elements that work in the brain that take place simultaneously. One is called dopamine. The other one is called norepinephrine. You mean, what is that? These are the two drugs that's in the brain that drive people to make decisions. The first one, dopamine, is the drug of anticipation. It means desire. It means that I want something. Norepinephrine is the drug of tension. It means that what? I'm on the edge of my seat trying to figure out what's about to happen next, which is why you see movies and plays and books and thrillers, why people watch them for 3 hours and are glued to their seats and can't take their eye off the screen. It's because they're wondering what's going to happen next. So these two elements are desire and tension. These are the two elements that are vital in order to keep a person's attention. And most people don't know how to mix the two of them up. So they don't know how to maintain a person's attention for more than a few minutes. And as you know, we live in a day where people have ADD, and where people are, based on the internet and based on this technology and based on all of this. We live in a time where it's real hard for people to focus on something for more than a few minutes. And because people aren't being taught communication skills, because we're so busy with all of these computers and these phones, and they're turning into zombies. The worst skill in the world today, the skill that people have the least of, is the ability to be able to communicate, which is why you, as a major communicator, as a master communicator, this is why you're going to end up being very wealthy if you learn how to communicate. All right. So let's talk about the elements of how to maintain and keep attention. How do you develop desire in a person and tension in the person at the same time? So here are the 3 Ds. Okay. So number one, you want to demonstrate instead of talk to a person logically. Okay. All right, so everybody put, these are the 3 Ds, and the first D is demonstrate. Okay, so let's put demonstrate in the chat. Let's get this party started. Demonstrate. This is the first D of being a dynamic person and getting and maintaining the person's attention. Good morning, Paula. How you doing? I'm doing great. And good morning to you, Ken. I'm doing wonderful too. God bless you. All right, so everybody put demonstrate in the chat. Santi, that's correct. Okay, come on, hurry up. Let's go. Let's demonstrate. Everybody put demonstrate in the chat, and let's get going. You say, what do you mean demonstrate? What I'm saying is that you don't tell a person something and logically think that the person is paying attention to what you're talking about, because we're not logical people. We're emotional people. You say, we got to be logical. Yeah, we're logical second. We're emotional first. All right. Did you hear what I said? Everybody put EF in the chat. We are immersed. We are emotional first. We're logical second. This is human beings. We're emotional first. Then we're logical second. Second. So why is Facebook don't even take my own comments? What's with this generic stuff? I tell you. All right, everybody put EF in the chat. All right, EF. I'm teaching you the pattern. People will never ignore you another day of your life if you learn this pattern. In fact, you'll be so sought after if you learn this pattern, until you'll be able to quit your job. You'll be able to work when you want to work. You'll be able to make as much money as you want to make. Why? Because there's a pattern to keeping and maintaining the person's attention. And if you take this video and restudy it, and I would take it and I would teach my people around me, because people are boring and nobody want to be bothered with them. They don't understand these 3 Ds to be a dynamic presenter, and that the stuff they're doing is not working. Okay, so so demonstrating things means telling stories. And the reason you tell stories when you're talking to people is because nobody can remember what you said if you don't put it in a story form. That's why Jesus taught in stories. The most incredible teacher that ever walked the face of the earth is Jesus Christ. And he always illustrated things through parables. And the reason that he illustrated things through parables is because the point of telling you something was so you can go do something with your life. But you can't even remember what somebody was talking about if they don't explain it in a story form, because the only thing that the human brain can really retain is narrative. All right. So everybody put narrative in the chat so you can understand what I'm saying. I'm telling y'all to put out the whole words today. Narrative. I don't know why I keep writing stuff here. They even take about, let me do it over here. Let me do it over here on Instagram. Everybody put in narrative. Narrative. Everybody put in narrative. Okay. You say, what do you mean by narrative? We can remember stories. You can remember stories. You can remember stories. You can remember stories, but you remember very little of a person's presentation. And people really think when they talking to you that you remember most of what they said, when in fact you can't remember but about 10% of what somebody told you. But you can remember 100% of the story. Are you listening to me? Why would you talk to somebody and leave them with a 10% impression when you can leave them with 100%? All right. If you already leave 100% impression on people, put 100% in the chat. I'm teaching y'all how to get paid today. You're not going to get paid and don't nobody remember what you was talking about. All right. And people only remember 10% of what you're talking about. And you're not going to make no money. Why? Because they don't remember what you said. So they can't act on what you're talking about because they don't even remember what you said. Let me explain something to you. Hear me good. When you're talking to a person, you know what you're talking about. When you're talking to the person, you assume they know what you're talking about. But that's not true. Why? Because they know what's on their mind. They don't know what's on your mind. Are you listening to me? So you talk to a person, always assuming they don't know what you're talking about. So that means you illustrate it like you're talking to a third grade child, because people that make money, we talk extremely plain to people. We don't use a whole lot of fancy words and a whole lot of foolishness that don't get nothing accomplished, because we have major impact on people because they remember what we said because we tell stories. All right, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I was in a playground, and it was this dude over here roughing people up. His name is Demetrius. So Demetrius is a big old thug. He done failed about 7 or 8 times. He about 16 years old, but he in third grade. So he over here jacking up this little dude that's in second grade. So I was tired of looking at this mug jumping on people. So I wanted a piece of him. So I went over there and said, "Hey man, why don't you pick on somebody your own size?" So he looked over at me with that very white voice and said, "Yeah, sure you're right." I was like, "Dang, your voice deep." Anyway, we started rumbling, right? So he got me on the ground. Now this dude is way bigger than me, about twice my size, because he failed about 6 times. So he got me on the ground. He's slapping my face like a hockey puck. Ka-ping, 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 ka-ping. I'm on the ground struggling, trying to stay alive, right? Finally, somebody called my brother Jerome and said, "Hey, Jerome, you better go over there and get your little brother. He over there getting the brakes beat off of him." So I don't know how my brother got this nickname, but they called him Plumber. So they said, "Hey, Plumber, you better go over there and get Little Plumber, because Little Plumber getting the brakes beat off of him." So Jerome come running over to where I'm at. I'm on the ground. He talking about, "Roll over, Ricky. Roll over. Roll over. Roll over." I'm like, roll, 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 roll over. I can't even, I can't even breathe. So he finally snatched him up off me, right? And I said, "Man, what's wrong with you, man?" I said, "Why didn't you whoop that dude?" He started walking down the street, started philosophizing. He said, "Man, who started the fight?" I said, "It don't make no, I did." He said, "Well, boy, if you started something, you need to be able to finish it." I'm like, "Man, I don't want to hear all that philosophical stuff, man. You supposed to jump on him. He's my big brother. He way bigger than me." He said, "Well, you know, son," he said, "let me tell you something, little brother." He said, "I'll never let your mouth write a check that your butt can't cash." All right. So now you say, so you'll remember that story long after we get through talking today. He'll say, "Brother Ricky was in a fight when he was in seventh grade. He got whooped because the dude was bigger than him. And then his brother told him, 'Stop writing a check that your mouth can't cash.'" Didn't your mama tell you that? I said, "Didn't your mama tell you that? Don't let your mouth write a check your butt can't cash it." But instead of you just saying that to somebody, you demonstrate the story. This is the first D in being a dynamic presenter. You don't just tell people stuff, you demonstrate it. Because if you demonstrate it, they can remember it. All right. Let me give you another example of what I'm talking about. Dr. Benjamin Carson. Dr. Benjamin Carson, who wrote 2 books. One is called Gifted Hands 1. One is called Gifted Hands 2. Dr. Benjamin Carson, he ran for president of the United States. He's a black man. And Dr. Carson, when he was a little boy, they called him learning disabled. Why? When he was about 10 years old, he was failing everything in class. Come to find out, he wasn't learning disabled. He was just blind. He couldn't see. So he was sitting in the back of the class, and because he couldn't see, he was failing everything. When they moved him to the front, they found out that he was a bit of a child prodigy. So his mother was married to his daddy, and his daddy was a bigot. He had two families. He had his mama, then he had another chick that he was married. He was actually married to two people at the same time. So it broke his mama down. It messed up Dr. Carson's mother's mind so bad until she got a nervous breakdown. And she had to send him over to school in the suburbs of Detroit with her sister. So he went to some suburban schools. Come to find out, Dr. Carson is a genius. He went to a school that's pretty much all white. He ended up being a valedictorian of the class in the all-white school that he went to, and so bad until the principal got up. She's so upset about it until she said, how you let this Negro, I'm gonna say Negro because I sound better. She said, how you let this Negro become the head of this class? How you let him become the valedictorian of this class? All you pure-bred, superior, white Aryan folk up in here. How dare you let this Negro be number one in the class? So she said that right in front of Dr. Carson. So Dr. Carson's so smart until they end up sending him to Yale. He gets to Yale University, but he broke. He's so broke, he ain't even got nothing to eat. So one day he's walking down the street, he found $10 on the ground. He was so happy because he was starving. So then he had another occasion where he had to go into a room and take a test. They go inside and take the test. When they get inside, the whole assembly is full of students, but the test is really, really hard. So what happens? Everybody just gets up and starts leaving. So Dr. Carson looks up and ain't nobody left but him and one other person. So he goes over and he passes his paper in. And the lady says, congratulations. He's like, congratulations. I know I failed that test. I don't think I got one single answer right. She said, it wasn't no answers to this test. She said, we just wanted to see who was going to sit around and wait this thing out to see who had the endurance level so that we could put you in the school newspaper. He's like, huh? She said, and by the way, you just won $10 too. So that's how he ended up eating lunch that particular week, because he endured. So what's the story? What's the moral to that story? The moral to that story is what? Hang in there. But instead of just telling somebody to hang in there, you teach them a story that demonstrates the idea of somebody hanging in there. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? So what? Demonstrate. If you want to be able to keep a person's attention, if you want to be able to keep a person's attention, if you want to stop being, good morning, Lost, how you doing? If you want to stop being a boring individual, and stop making little small amounts of money, and stop working these jobs where in the next 4 to 5 years, these robots are going to take your job. You're going to have to learn how to start speaking to people, making sure that they understand the words that's coming out your mouth, not no bunch of fancy, unnecessary lingo that ain't going to make you a dollar, but plain third grade language. And you're going to have to learn how to tell stories. You say, Brother Ricky, I'm bashful. I'm shy. I really don't want to be up in front of people. You are going to be at the back of the soup line if you don't change that attitude. You're not going to be able to keep the same attitude that you've had in the past, where you can sit back sit back and be a sideline player, a play from the. You're going to have to come and get in the game, brother. You're going to have to come and get in the game, sister, if you're going to survive in these next 5 years. Things are changing at the speed of light. And unless you learn how to communicate, you're not going to have any money. You're going to have trouble. You're going to be in the soup line. These robots are going to take your place. Are you listening to me? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are y'all big on I'm telling you? Good morning, Yolanda. How you doing? All right. So illustrate your point, demonstrate your point so that you can maintain people's attention. Because when a person is in the middle of a story, they are having all type of emotional fireworks going on in their brain. Why? What's the point of the story? The point of the story is not for you to just brag about you, but the point of the story is for you to help a person see themselves in the middle of the story. Why? Because if they saw that the person could do something for themselves and they having the same emotional problems that that person was having, then what? They can see themselves being able to come out of their situation. That's why Jesus taught in parables. He taught in parables because he was concerned about people coming out their situation, not concerned about trying to impress somebody, which is what boring people do. Boring people do what? They trying to impress people. All right. He said, good day, sir. I'm trying to set you. I am actually enjoying, but I haven't received a response yet. All right, Stephanie, come to our International Monetary Fund class coming up next. All right, just put IMF in the chat there. Just put in the letters IMF and come to our free class. And then you can see what's going on. You can see exactly what we're doing. All right, come to the class there. That's the best way to get in touch with us. Somebody from our office, if you DM me your phone number too, somebody from our office will call you. But come to the class, okay? Just put IMF in the chat if you want to come. And it's my free class. I do it on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. I show you my check, show you Shantae's check, show you the forms we fill out, show you all that stuff, okay? So just put IMF in the chat if you want to do that. All right, so let's go to the second D. So the first D is demonstrate if you want to be dynamic. See, people think being dynamic means that that you doing somersaults and flips and that you spitting when you talking and I saw God and he's all right and give me a all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickled onions. I said onions, pickled onions. I said onions. Anybody interested in all that foolishness? All right, people don't know one thing. What's in this for me? If it ain't nothing in it for me, I ain't really interested. All these posts and stuff that people make, nobody care nothing about you being in the Cayman Islands and the fact that you just got a brand new car. That only means something to superficial people. That don't mean nothing to a person that's trying to take care of their family, a person that's dealing with legacy, a person that's got some real intentions, a person that really wants something. They're not interested in all that stuff. They're interested in one thing: my relationship with you. What does that have to do with me? Hey, listen to me. How am I going to be better off because of our relationship? To become a dynamic presenter, just make that plain. Are you hear what I'm talking about? Everybody put MIP in the chat. Make it plain. Okay. Stop talking around. Stop talking all over people's head. They ain't interested in that. Okay. Make it plain. Everybody put MIP in the chat. I got to put it over here on Instagram because it ain't even working on Facebook. Everybody put MIP. Excuse me a second. Make it plain. They used to say that in church, when the guy's preaching, they say, make it plain. Well, if you don't make it plain, you ain't gonna have no money. I'm teaching you today how to make money. In order for you to make money, you need to be a dynamic individual. And to be a dynamic individual, you have to have people's attention. In order to have that attention, you have to learn how to tell stories. All right. So let's go to the second D. So the second D is deliver destiny. You say, what does that mean? Number one is demonstrate your ideas. Number two is deliver destiny. You say, what do you mean deliver destiny? Only talk to people about the bottom line. Never talk to people about anything other than what the bottom line is. In other words, what is the payoff? What's in it for them? When you're talking to people and you're teaching people things, and like you say, like I do challenges, and I've done 48 challenges coming up. Next challenge is number 49. If you want to skip to the front of the line and you really want to learn how to buy trust from us, just put challenge in the chat and just join the challenge. All right. And because nobody can buy trust from me that doesn't come from my challenge, because we are very educated. And unless a person wants to get educated, we don't sell them nothing. Why? Because we don't need to sell anything, because we make so much money just off the way we bank. We don't even need any money. So if you join anything that we doing it, you will join it based on our terms, not yours. All right. Because I don't need your money. All right. So people send me messages saying, hey man, I want to talk to you. I'm like, you better change that tone of voice. All right. That's not reality. You don't just bum rush people and just gangster them and just do things the way you want to do it. This ain't that type of party. All right. The way we do things around here is decent and in order, line upon line, precept upon precept. We know how to fill out forms and get $1 million back. All right. So we're not no joke. You don't just bomb rush us and just tell us what to do. Why? Because we don't even need your money. All right. We don't need you to be no client. We love you. We care about you. And if you're interested in learning about how to help yourself, then that's what I'm here for. All right. But it won't be on your terms. It'll be on our terms. And if you don't like our terms, then just keep it moving. All right. And that's the way you deal with people. You don't let people come into your life and bomb rush you and boss you around and tell you what to do and all of that. You let them know what the bottom line is for them. You help them to what? You help lead them to that destiny. All right. Are you listening to me? Just deliver destiny. Tell a person what the bottom line is. This is what you can look forward to. So when you're teaching people, this is the problem with folks. People try to teach people exactly what to do. But what you do is you teach people or try to teach a person how to do it, but the people haven't paid you. Don't teach people how to do nothing who haven't paid you. Why? Because that's not dynamic, and that's not how you get paid. And it's wrong. It's wrong on your part and it's wrong on their part to try to get them, for you to teach them what you know without them paying you. Are you listening to me? So you teach a person what? You teach them what they need to do, all right? And you teach them why they need to do it. And then if they decide they want to pay you some money, you teach them how. Did you get that right? You teach them what they need to do, and then you teach them why they need to do it. And then if they decide they want to pay you, you teach them how. If they don't want to pay you, don't teach them nothing. All right? Are you listening to me? And stop letting people pimp you. You're not no hoe. All right? You're a man of God, a woman of God, a servant of God, a man of the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, the son of the living God, Jesus Christ. That's how we get down around here. All right. Nobody comes around here bomb rushing nobody, do nothing. Are you listening to me? So If you're going to be a dynamic individual, that means that you're going to have to just tell people what the bottom line is for them. Are you listening to me? The bottom line. Everybody put BL in the chat. Come on, everybody put BL in the chat. BL. Just tell a person what the bottom line is. This is what you can look forward to. All right. Why is the bottom line so important when you're making a presentation to people? It's because people can see the bottom line. And once a person sees the bottom line, they'll get rid of all of their shenanigans. They'll get rid of what? They'll get rid of all of the foolishness that's in their mind that would stop them from reaching the bottom line. If you express or if you paint a picture of the bottom line in the person's head, then the person will be looking at that. Then what? They'll be singing a song, I don't feel no ways tired. Why? Because I'm looking at the bottom line and ain't nothing gonna wear me out. Why? Because I'm getting what I came for. That's what I want. All right. That's the prize. That's why Paul said, I press towards the mark of the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. He said, man, I'm pressing towards that prize. I see the prize. So it's your job as a dynamic presenter to show people the prize. All right. And let them know this is the prize. Okay. These are the rules to get to the prize. But if a person can't see the prize, what? They can't see the forest for the trees. You need to make sure that they can really know what the forest is. So when they get out there and they see the trees don't mean nothing. Why? Because the forest is more important than the trees. Are y'all digging what I'm saying? If you're digging what I'm saying, put it in the chat. Put I'm digging it. Are you digging what I'm saying? All right. I said, are you digging what I'm saying? Talk about what? The payoff. Talk about what really matters. Talk about what they gonna get out the situation. I'm amazed at people who have conversations with folk. They do it with me all the time, and they talking about themselves. So I listen because I'm a patient listener, but I'm saying to myself, I wouldn't buy anything from you. That's what I'm saying to myself. I don't necessarily say it to them unless they finally ask me to buy something. Then I tell them no. And they're like, why are you saying no? I say, because I don't know what's in it for me. You've been talking about you for the last 15 minutes or 20 minutes. I wasn't going to cut you off. Why? Because I made up in the back of my mind I wasn't buying nothing from you. I just wasn't going to waste my time talking about it because I don't like wasting my time. I'm just a polite listener. So I'm listening to you for a few minutes, but I'm not going to buy nothing from you. I'd already made my mind. I'm not buying nothing from you. You've been over here wasting my time for 15, 20 minutes. Like I'm going to get them 15 to 20 minutes back while you over here all self-aggrandized telling me about you. I'm not interested in you. You talking to me about business. I'm not interested in, nobody's interested in you. Are you listening to me? I'm telling y'all how to be dynamic. When you're talking to a person, stop these posts about you. Nobody interested in that. Stop talking about stuff that don't interest the person. Only what? The bottom line and the payoff. So that's number 2. So number 1, deliver destiny to people. All right. Number 1, demonstrate stories. Number 2, deliver destiny. Then number 3, finally, you want to reduce a person's friction. And the way you want to do that is that you want to destroy their doubt. Okay. So number 3, you want to destroy doubt. So you say, what do you mean? Listen to me good. When you meet a person and you're talking to them, they do not believe you. All right. All right. I said they don't believe you. You just met somebody. They don't believe you. All right. And it's not required that they believe you when you first met them, when you first meet them. When I meet people, I don't believe what people telling me. I'm like, I don't know you, man. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know how legit you are. All right. But I'm not going to pass judgment on what you're saying until I investigate what it is that you're talking about. All right. But I don't believe it just because you said it. All right. And most of the time when you meet people in these, especially like in these money streets and things that really make money, the reason most people ain't got no money is because everything that they really believe about the way that money is made is a lie. I mean, it just ain't true. When I meet people and I'm talking to them about how we 1099 a bank, get our money back, how I can make $100 million and don't have to pay no taxes. They don't believe that. They don't believe that. Why? Because they might make $50,000 and they pay taxes on that. So in their mind, they thinking everybody lives like them. Are you listening to me? People see things based on their paradigm. All right. So everybody put this word in the chat. Frames. Okay. Everybody sees frames. Okay. Everybody put the word frame in the chat. All right. Frame. I got to do it over here on Instagram. It's not even working on Facebook. Everybody come on, put the word frames in the chat. All right. I'm not going to teach you until you start cooperating. Okay. All right. It's like I'm teaching you the way I teach people that pay me $150,000. I'm just teaching you for free. Okay. So put frames in the chat and let's get this party started. All right, Melody, I'm going to teach you what a frame is. Katrina, I'm going to teach you what a frame is. Monique, I'm going to teach you what a frame is. All right. Sonny, I'm going to teach you what a frame is. All right. God's deed, indeed, love. Charles, I'm going to teach you what a frame is. Shirley Ann, I'm going to teach you what a frame is. So what is a frame? A frame is what? Like a window frame. You look out of a window frame and you see things. But what do you see? You see things based on what? What you've been through. What do I see? I see things based on what I've been through. You take the average black dude, an average white guy, for example, when the police get behind our car. If the police pull up behind a car of a black guy, what's the first thing we start thinking? Oh man, this Marcus gonna pull me over. I was leaving from Chin, the Millionaire Barbers, my best friend. I was leaving this estate because we was having an inner circle meeting there. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had a young lady in the car with me who had drove down from Chicago. And and sure enough, we was pulling out a speedway, and I can see this police officer sitting on the side of the road. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. And I know he saw us because we was getting in the car, and ain't no black people in this neighborhood. So we was getting in the car. I mean, very few black folk in the neighborhood. So we started pulling down the street. Here he goes. He gets behind me. What does he start doing? I'm doing it's 40 miles an hour. So I'm doing exactly 40 miles an hour. You know how hard it is to do exactly 40 miles an hour. So I'm sitting there and he is driving this close to my bumper. I know what he's doing, running the tags, trying to make sure everything legit and all that, looking for a reason to pull us over because it's just this the way it's been ever since we've been in America. You got racist white police who pull black men over for nothing. Quite often end up killing them and shooting them and stabbing them and locking you up and harassing you. That's just what that's our window frame. That's our reality, how we see things. Now, fortunately, he followed me all the way to the expressway. And I got this lump in my throat. I'm like, man, 4 o'clock in the morning, who in the world wants to be dealing with this stuff? I got this lump in my throat, where your blood pressure go up a little bit. All the realities of being a black man, just driving around America. You know what I'm talking about? In the 2000s, just like it was in the 1850 or something. You dig what I'm talking about? But praise God, he left us alone. But what's my point? My point is that's that paradigm is real. Everybody put it's real in the chat. Come on. Everybody put it's real. Come on, that's a real paradigm. All right. That ain't no fake paradigm. All right. That's a real frame. Everybody put it's real in the chat. Because your frame is real. This is where you come from. All right. But people come from different places. So their frames are different. Why? Because they come from different places. So people believe things based on where they come from. Are you digging what I'm saying? So when you're talking to a person about things and they ain't came from there, they cannot see it the way that you see it. Why? Because they ain't came from the place you came from. Are you listening to me? And you need to be able to recognize that as a presenter. Are you hearing what I'm saying? When I'm talking about being dynamic, I'm not talking about a whole lot of shenanigans and a whole lot of personality. I'm talking about you need some personality. You don't want to be no boring cat. But my point is, you need to understand human psyche and how people behave, so you'll stop talking to people in ways they can't understand because they don't understand where you're coming from. Why? Because you ain't even interested in their paradigm and where they're coming from. Now you take a white boy on the other hand. I remember Grant Cardone. I was listening to his book called Be Obsessed or Be Average. And here is Grant. He's telling his story about how he got pulled over by the police. He said he's doing about 150 because he loves speed. And he said the police pull him over down in Florida. And they say, hey, you're doing 150 miles an hour in a 75-mile-an-hour zone. And this is what Grant Cardone tell him. He says, yeah, buddy, I know I was speeding. I freaking love speed. Okay. He said, but you know what? Don't give me the speech, buddy. Just give me the freaking ticket. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, that's a white boy's version of being pulled over by the police. That ain't no brother's version of being pulled over by the police. Why? We ain't about to tell the police, hey man, don't give me no speech. Give me the ticket. We ain't about to talk to him like that. Why? Because we got two different frames that we came from. When they pull up behind a white boy, they officer friendly. When they pull up behind us, we wondered if it's going to be the last day of our life. I dig what I'm talking about? So when you're dealing with people and you are explaining things to people, you have to explain it to them based on their frame or what. Or else whatever you're talking about is going to sound like some pootie tang. Are you digging what I'm saying? Because they can't relate to what you're saying. Nobody does business with a person that they cannot relate to. Are you listening to me? So you find out what type of frame somebody has, and then you deliver your message within that frame. If that makes sense, everybody put MS in the chat. Does that make sense? Everybody put MS in the chat if that makes sense. All right. Okay. So How do you reduce people's, so people's frames have them where when you meet a person, listen to me good. When you're talking to a person and they don't know you, and you're talking to a person and they're not familiar with what you're talking about, and you're talking to a person and they ain't got no rapport with you, listen to me. They have tight butt cheeks. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? I listen. The person, the posture of the person is, this mark is on something. All right, this sister is on something. They trying to play me. They trying to pop me off. They think I'm slow. They think I'm why? Because the person has a whole lot of what? A whole lot of unbelief in their head and a whole lot of stuff that just ain't true, but it's true to them. So what you have to do is you have to reduce this, you have to reduce the fiction. So everybody put RF in the chat. All right. Everybody put RF. I'm teaching you today how to be a dynamic presenter, how to be dynamic, how to make a lot of money. All right. We make a lot of money. We make millions of dollars. Why? Because we're very good at presenting things. Why? Because I understand what people don't believe me. So when I'm talking to a person, I'm not trying to get them to believe me. And I'm teaching you this will change your life. Okay. Stop it. They don't believe you in the first place. What the only way a person can believe you is they have to believe the facts. But people can't see the facts because of the fiction. So what you have to do is reduce fiction. Everybody put RF in the chat. Okay. Everybody put RF in the chat. Um, Here go. Hey, this Mark here that said that's me. This is not me here. This dude right here, that's not me. Don't message nobody. Don't message nobody. This trick is not, that's a fake Rick the Well Tracy. Don't message this punk. All right. These are this fake cats. I think they out of Nigeria. They make all these fake pages up and stuff with Rick the Wealth Coach. That's not me. I ain't on WhatsApp at all. If you get a WhatsApp message, it's not Brother Ricky. All right. It's a perpetrating fraud. That's why I got it sitting up here for a second so y'all can see it. All right. Don't send that Mark $1. Are you hearing me? I don't ask nobody to put no money in no accounts. I don't never do no stuff like that. Are you hearing me? You got to qualify just to do business with us. Are you hearing me? You got to come to classes just to do business with us. Don't believe nothing these tricks tell you. That's a trick. That's a poo butt. That's a punk. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? That's a perpetrating fraud, and they're trying to pop you off and don't send them $1. Okay. All right. Let me block this trick and delete his message. Okay. All right. Let me block. So because some of y'all been sending people money. I know that. I know y'all be sending people money. Y'all think it's me, but I don't beg nobody for no money. I don't trick nobody out of nothing. You ain't got nothing I want. Okay. Understand that. All right. The only thing I want for you is for you to be rich, wealthy. Okay. And you might end up being a student of mine, or you might not. I've been teaching y'all for 6 years for free. Just go out and do the stuff I'm teaching you today. You ain't got to never come see me again. All right. Just be blessed. All right. Maybe you can come and get you a trust. Maybe. All right. That might end up being the case. But me teaching you today, the point of me teaching you today is this public service. Okay. And in public service, you come out here on the internet and you learn something that people don't know. And then you teach it to them so that they can be better off. And then eventually you'll have some business colleagues because somebody's going to respond to that. It's always going to be somebody that's going to respond to something that you did for them. Stop being out here trying to get something for you. And that's why them crooks are. They out here trying to get something from you. Are you dig what I'm talking about? All right. So now let's go back to framing. So the frame is the way that you see something, and it's real. It's how you see it. So you got to deal with real. So everybody put DWR in the chat. Okay. Everybody put DWR. You got to deal with real. All right. What's real to a person is real to that person. You don't just walk up on a person and think that just because you see it this way, and even though you might be accurate with what you're looking at, it don't. If you want to ever have a relationship with this person, you're gonna have to deal with what's real to them. Are you hearing me? Are you listening to me? I'm not talking about you got to change your position. I'm not talking about you got to start doing what's fake that they believe in. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you got to deal with the fact that what's real to them is not real, but it's real to them. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? So that means what? You're gonna have to reduce reduce fiction before people can see facts. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Why? Because people can't see facts because they can only see the fiction. Once you reduce the fiction and the fiction is lower than the fact, then the person will be able to see the fact because now they're not blinded by fiction. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Blinded by fiction. Everybody put BBF in the chat. That's why your clients are not buying from you. All right. If you got something that's good and it can really help somebody, and they're not buying it from you, everybody put BBF in the chat. It's because they blinded by fiction. Okay. They can't hear what you're saying. All right, go ahead and put it in the chat. Y'all taking too long. Let's go. Come on. BBF. All right. The reason that the person is not doing business with you is because they blinded by fiction. Are you hearing me? That's right, Benny. They blinded by fiction. That's right, Terry. They blinded by fiction. That's right, David. They blinded by fiction. That's right. That's right, Rudolph. They blinded by fiction. James, they are blinded by fiction. You are not going to get nobody to write you a check for 15 cents who what are blinded by fiction, and you got the facts. Are you listening to me? I said, if a person is blinded by fiction and you got the facts, they'll never what? Do business with you. Why? Because they're not going to write a check to the facts. They're going to write a check to the fiction. Are you listening to me? People write checks to what it is that they can see. Are y'all hearing what I'm talking about? Everybody put FC in the chat. The average person walking around right now is living a fiction life. Why? Because they write fiction checks. Everybody put FC in the chat. All right. You say, man, why can't a person put cheese on a Whopper, Brother Ricky? Why is it so slow? Why are people so slow? Why it take them forever to get something? Or for that matter, for never to get something. I'm like, everybody is writing a check. It's just that most people are writing fictional checks. They writing checks to fiction. Why? Because that's what their paradigm is. That's what their framework is. In their head, this is real. I'm like, it's not real because it's in your head. It's real because it's real. So that's why you have to present facts to people. And the more facts you present to a person, the less fiction will be in their head. And that's your job as a presenter. You don't come into a room and present something to somebody and just get mad at them just because they believe lies. No, you want to be a dynamic presenter. And if you're going to be a dynamic presenter, then that means that you're going to come in understanding that they believe lies. Matter of fact, a young man named Ed, who just bought a trust from me, he came to our challenge a couple of challenges ago. I don't think this last one. I think he had a challenge before this last one. And you know why? You say, why do you even have a financial IQ challenge, Brother Ricky? I have a financial IQ challenge so I can help reduce friction. I mean, reduce fiction from people. Why? Because I know ain't nobody gonna do nothing until they get rid of their unbelief. Are you listening to me? Because belief and unbelief are both beliefs. It's just that unbelief is belief in what's fake, and belief is belief in what's real. Unbelief is still a belief, and unbelief is the precedent, is the largest belief in the world. Unbelief, not belief. Most people are not believers. Most people are unbelievers. Why? Because of life. Life is what pimp slap people so much until they just stopped in their tracks based on what happened to them. And now the only thing that they can see is what? Fiction. And fiction is so large until they live in that fictional world. And then they do what? They start writing fiction checks. And what's your job as a presenter? To what? Pull them out of the fiction world and bring them into the factual world. But that means you have to know the facts. How many times have you talked to somebody? Excuse me. How many times have you talked to somebody and they was making a presentation and they didn't know the facts to their own presentation? Don't that bothers you? I say, don't that bothers you? Everybody put BM at that BM in the chat. That bothers me. I mean, that really bothers me. I'm like a person finally get my audience and finally get me to talking to them. And then they start stumbling all around about what they're talking about. I'm like, you don't even know the facts about your own product? They like, what? Put it to the tank, put it to the tank. I'm like, this is your opportunity. You asked me to talk to you. You know I'm a busy man. You know what? You know, but all of us are busy. Why? Because we busy because we know the facts. All right. We know how to 1099 the bank. We know how to get every dollar we put to the bank back. We are very busy. It's people all over the world who want to do that. We ain't in no hurry to talk to nobody. So if you get an appointment with somebody, why in the world would you get the person and then hem them up and don't even know what you're talking about? Why? Because I don't know you. So I don't know how to believe what it is you're talking about. I don't know where you're coming from. Are you dig what I'm saying? That's the way people are when they meet you, when they meet me. People don't know us. People don't know you. So what? That means have your facts right. So you can help reduce the person's fiction. I had a young man who was sitting at my table one time. All right. I had a young man, M. Baku. Um, Now, we're not answering those questions right now. Come to the IMF class. I'm teaching y'all about how to be dynamic. Stay focused on one thing when I'm talking to you all. Okay. Today's lesson is how to be dynamic, not about 1099s, not about that stuff. If you want to learn that, put IMF in the chat. Come to class. The next class is Wednesday. And in the class, that's all we're going to talk about is how to get money, how to 1099 a bank. That's the whole class. All right. But right now, learn how to talk to a person. Okay. Learn how to get a person's attention, maintain their attention, so you'll have some money to even put in the bank so that you can 1099 and get your money back. I don't care how you 1099 $20. It ain't nothing but $20. Y'all remember the movie Friday and how Smokey was playing around with Big Worm's money, kept flipping it around, talking about Chris Tucker talking about Big Worm. Said, "Boy, you better stop playing with my money. That's still $100. I don't care how you turn that around." All right, so let's stay focused on this whole idea right now. So, um, let me throw my train of thought off. VC. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're talking about reducing a person's um, fiction or what it is that they thought was the truth. So in my last class, this young man named Ed, 2 classes ago, he said he's a country boy from Kentucky someplace. He said, "Brother Rick," I say, "What's going on, man?" He said, "I'm going to tell you the truth." I said, "What's that?" He said, "When I came to that third challenge you got," I said, "What's that, Ed?" He said, "I came in to prove you was a fraud." Okay, so why did Ed want to prove I was a fraud? So he told me why, because I listen to people. And he said, because somebody got me. I was trying to do some of the things you're doing over here, and I wanted to become a sovereign citizen. And so somebody had got it. That was the point. So because somebody got him, that was what? That was his frame. I got enough sense to know when I'm talking to people that chances are, if you are an ambitious person, especially if you want to be private like we are, get checks and all that kind of stuff, you probably tried it already. You probably talked to somebody, done business with somebody, and chances are you did business with some mark who don't know what he's doing, don't know how to file paperwork right, and they probably messed up some of your money or messed up some of your time. But let me tell you something, brother and sister. That ain't just about buying no trust. That ain't just about the kind of stuff we do. That's about life. Most of the people around you don't know they facts. Why? Because they thirsty and they just want your money. That's the way people are in these business streets. They don't even get their facts together. Why? Because they're more concerned about a person's money than they are about the facts. I'm like, the fact is that if somebody even wrote you a check, sooner or later everybody gonna be at your front door ready to peel chips off your head because you don't even know what you're doing. Are you hearing me? You ain't even gave yourself over to the facts. Do you know what a king does? Everybody listen to me. Do you know what a king does? A job of a king. The job of a king is to read the word. And then when people come around this table, 100 people sitting at the table, is to feed them food and then feed them the word. That's the job of a king and his kingdom. That's how kings run kingdoms. So what is the word? Facts. All right. So you sit down, you study the word, and you get the facts, and then you sit down and you train everybody at your table. That's why I took 20 kids to Hawaii. 10 kids and 10 grandkids. He said, "How old are you, Brother Ricky?" I ain't Rip Van Winkle, you dig? But I got a few years on me, but blessed enough to have 10 kids and 10 grandkids. But we didn't just go to Hawaii and kick it. I took them up in the mountains and I got my whiteboard out every day. And before we would go out and do anything, I fed them. I fed them what? I fed them legacy counsel. I fed them the word. We sat down and we talked. Everybody had to take a pen and paper out and write things down. Why? Because I know they need to know the facts about life. And the Bible is the number one facts about life. And then the Constitution is the second facts about life. And then once you learn these facts, then what? You can reduce a person's fiction. Because I got enough sense to know my own kids do what? They got to deal with a whole lot of fiction. Why? Because they all went to public schools because we grew up broke. We grew up broke, so my kids went to public schools. So the public schools, they don't teach you nothing but what? Fiction. Are you listening to me? You walk into the school, just everything they teach you is some fantasy type of stuff. It ain't real. It ain't got no substance to it. So it's a problem because you got to deprogram your own kids and reduce their fiction so they can learn the facts. Because how are you going to leave a dynasty, even if you got some sense? How in the world are you going to leave a dynasty to somebody else who ain't got no sense? Are you listening to me? Everybody put RP in the chat. It's time to reprogram our kids. Are y'all hearing me? Don't just run it. Don't just let your kids go to the school system and let the system program them what with a whole bunch of fiction. Come on, everybody put RP in the chat. Are y'all digging what I'm saying? Everybody put RP in the chat. Are y'all listening to me? All right. You're not gonna leave no money to no ignorant children. You're not gonna leave no money to no people that live in a fantasy world. Even if you get your stuff together. Hey, listen to me. Even if your stuff is skin tight like the Ohio players, until you reduce the fiction in your kids' heads, then they're going to believe fiction and they're not going to be able to operate on the facts. And they're going to write all of their checks in the land of fiction. Are you hearing me? All of their checks in the land of fiction. I had a young fella who was he said, how do you reach us? Come to the financial IQ. Well, first of all, if you want to send me a message on TikTok, my staff will call you back. Just put your text. Anybody want to talk to us directly, just text your number to me. My staff will call you. It's $50,000 to talk to me. Okay, that's what it costs an hour. You say, why is that, Ricky? You show I highfalutin. You think you all that? Hey, don't insult me. I can see that. I can see you insult me through the screen. I got discernment. Don't be insulting your brother. Why? We got high level information. So naturally, it costs a lot to talk to a person. But you can talk to my staff, ain't got to pay a penny. Okay. And they smart. Why? Because I taught them facts. All right. So don't kill no one person. That ain't how a kingdom is run. You don't try to kill a king in a kingdom. All of you all are kings in your kingdoms. Make people back up off of you and treat you with some respect. Are you hearing me? And teach people because we don't know. We don't understand. We think that we just coming at each other and stuff like that. That's not reality. That ain't how you treat a human being. I'd be dead. Are you listening to me? Are you hearing what I'm saying? So that's not how things are done. Things are done based on kingdom behavior. I teach facts. I teach y'all how to run kingdoms. All right. So that you can have something that's sustainable. It's not sustainable for you as one individual to be trying to talk to a whole lot of people. It's not even realistic. Okay. What if that's why my prices are $50,000? I talk to you if you got $50,000, yes. But I don't even want an appointment. I'd rather spend time kissing Shantae and playing with the grandkids. I don't want to be talking to people all day. That's why I'm here teaching you now collectively so we can do things as a kingdom. That's the way kings do. They teach people collectively. And then what? We have people in the kingdom who will talk to you as an individual person, and it's free. You can call out, you can leave your phone number, and Michael will call you back, my daughter call you back, Shantae will call you back. These are geniuses. All these people are operating the way I operate. Everybody call you back. We all live like this. Okay. So that's the answer to your question. Now. All right. So I was sitting at my desk and I used to teach people one-on-one. So I had a young guy at my desk, happened to be a young white guy. And sometimes white boys, let's just face it, they can just really feel privileged. Or like, it's this dynamic between white and black people. It's amazing that in 2020 something, we still got this inferiority, superiority, foolishness going on between the two races. It's just disgusting that a person would think that they got some type of white privilege or something. I'm like, you're just another cat, just like anybody else. I'm your brother, you my brother. God is a spirit. He ain't no color. You dig what I'm saying? I'm your brother and you my brother. So don't come at me like you better, like you got something coming because you white. That don't mean nothing. Like, you dig what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you should be more cautious about how you talk to me because of the way we done went through all this hell since we've been here for 500 years. And you should be conscious of that as a white brother and as a white sister. When you talk to a black man and a black woman, you should be conscious of that. You should be like, you know what? I'm gonna be careful about the way I talk to you because we done dogged y'all. My grandmama and my granddaddies and stuff, they beat the hell out y'all. All right. And the police still whooping y'all as y'all walking up and down the street today. We got some issues in this country, and I ain't gonna sit here as no white brother and sister and act like we ain't got them and just roll up on you and just act like it's all peachy cream because it ain't. So I'm gonna be sensitive of that when I'm talking to you, and I'm gonna talk to you like I got some sense. That's the way it ought to be. All right. That's not the way it always is. So I'm sitting in my crib and I'm training this young white guy on real estate when I used to train people one-on-one. And he's sitting in the crib and it's lunchtime. He ain't really did the work he's supposed to do yet because he got ulterior motives. His ulterior motive is what? He about to make it be known. He says, hey, Rick. I'm like, what's going on, Doc? As soon as he started talking like that, as soon as he started talking in that strictly business voice, he did. Y'all remember the dude in Strictly Business, the brother who talked whiter than white people? Yeah, him. So he says, hey, Rick. I say, what's up, Doc? He says, I was just thinking here, it's probably not the appropriate time right now. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be inappropriate, whatever you get ready to say, but let it out, Doc. Well, I was just wondering, about my company I was telling you about before. Yes, I remember you was talking about your company. He's like, well, I was just wondering, if you remember I told you that the company is right at the verge of really taking off, Rick. I said, is that so? He said, if I could just get a little capital infusion, just a little capital infusion, I said, you want to borrow some money, Doc? Well, yeah. I said, so how much money you trying to borrow? Well, I was just thinking if I could just get about a capital infusion of about 30,000 bucks, the company could really take off, Rick. It's really on the way. It's really on its way. I said, let me ask you a question, son. He said, what's that? I said, how long you been in this business? He says, about 4 years. I said, how much money you got in it? He says, well, I said, you broke, right? He's like, yeah. I said, how much money your business make over the last 4 years? He said, well, I said, your business broke too, right? He's like, well, yeah. I say, so how the hell you form your lips to ask a man to help fund your broke business and your broke behind? You ain't got no money. The business ain't got no money. Why? Because you white? So you just gonna act, and you in my living room, and you ain't even done the work I told you to do. everybody put audacity. Everybody put audacity in the chat. That's a lot of audacity. Okay. Why? Because his privilege made him think that he's just, oh, I'm like, you a buster, man. Your stuff ain't tight. It ain't got nothing to do with whether you black or white. But you feeling privileged here to just talk. And I'm a businessman, and you at my house, and I'm teaching you multi-million dollar stuff, and you're an intern. And instead of you appreciating what it is that you're getting trained on, can y'all imagine being an intern in my house the way I'm teaching you right now? Can you imagine that? Been sitting in my living room and I'm teaching you how to make personal deals. Can you imagine that? The audacity just to be sitting there talking about something else. Why? Because he didn't know the facts about his own. He started trying to explain his business to me, but he didn't know the facts about his own business. So how is he going to reduce my fiction and he don't know his own facts? I'm telling you, brothers, I'm telling you, sisters, stop coming out here in these business streets and you don't even know what you're talking about your own business. Are you listening to me? Study to show yourself approved. A workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Why? So that when you tell somebody, they can see the vision, make it plain so that they can run with it. But how can they run with the vision that you can't even see? Are you listening to me? How are you going to reduce somebody's fiction and you don't even understand your own facts? Are you listening to me? I'd like to leave y'all with this idea of facts and fiction before we go. I want y'all to picture this. I want you to picture this. I want you to picture coming into a land called La La Land. All right. And let's just go ahead on and let's just interview Queen Lala from La La Land. All right. Queen Lala, I want to ask you a question. How do people get to La La Land? Well, Brother Ricky, they take planes, trains, and automobiles. I say they do. Yeah, planes, trains, and automobiles. I said, and what's the gas they put in it? Anxiety. Anxiety, what do you mean by that? Yeah, everything you gotta understand in La La Land is made up. Oh, is that right? Yeah, and I'm the queen of La La Land. All right, is that right, Queen Lala? So that means that for a person to get to your land, they got to come into what? A make-believe world? That's right, Brother Ricky. And how do they get there again? They take planes, trains, and automobiles. And let me ask you one more time. What's the gas that gets them there? Anxiety. What do you mean anxiety, Queen Lala? Anxiety, stuff they just made up. Oh, so they live in a made up world. Is that right? That's right. Is that a fact, girl? Hey, don't you get me to say that word around here because we don't have no facts up in here. Everything over here is based on fiction. Is that right? So let me ask you another question, Queen Lala. If that's the case, how are people doing over here financially? Oh, everybody around here broke as hell, Brother Ricky. What? Everybody in La La Land is broke? That's right, Brother Ricky. Why are they broke? Because I keep them broke. How you keep them broke? Because I keep them in the middle of fiction. Well, give me some fiction, Queen Lala. Like what she say, for example, I got the banking system hooked up. I say, you got the banking system hooked up? What do you mean? Yeah, people believe fiction when they walk into a bank. I say, what do you mean, Queen Lala? When people walk into the bank, Brother Ricky, they actually think the money that they deposit in is their own money. I'm like, well, that sound like a fact to me. No, it's only sound like a fact to you because they live in a fictional world. I say, well, break it down like a fraction, woman. How are they walking in the bank and they ain't depositing their own money? Well, when they walk into the bankers, they file this form. What's that form, Queen Lala? They file a form called 1099 OID. What's OID? What that mean, Queen Lala? It means original issue of discount. All right, so what does that mean? That means that when you walk into the bank, Brother Ricky, and everybody that lives in La La Land, when they walk into the bank, the people from the bank leap over the counter and take over their body. What you say, Queen Lala? They take over their body? Yeah. They say that you didn't put the money in. We did. Wait a minute. You're confusing me. I'm very confused, woman. Did you just tell me that when an average person walk into the bank that lives here in La La Land, that the bank take over their body and act like they them? That sounds like some invasion from the body snatcher stuff. That was a cold flick, Brother Ricky. Did you see that? Yeah, I saw that when I was a little boy. So what's your point, Queen Lala? My point is that what? If you don't file those forms, you live in la la land. Why? Because they're going to file the form that you didn't file, which means that they act like they you. So when you walk in, you just made a deposit for them. You didn't make no deposit for you. That's why they keep all your money every year and get rich off of you. Welcome to la la land. La 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 means I tricked you. You can sing too, Queen Lala. I hit a little note every once in a while. What's my point? My point is that if you want to be a dynamic presenter, you'll never forget the story of La La Land. Why? Because it's something I made up. It'll be in your head for the rest of your life. You'll never forget the idea that you walking into the bank right now and you living a life of fiction because the banker is acting like they you. They taking your money and deposit into their account like they deposited your money into their account. You remember that. It's not easy to remember all the stuff that we do because we do the stuff that we do changes your whole life and your whole kaleidoscope of how you do financial business. But you remember the story. Today, I'm not here trying to sell y'all on buying our stuff. Today, I'm here to teach you one concept, and that's the concept of how you can get people to buy your stuff. I'm here for you today. Okay. When you leave from up out of here, I would take this video and I would rewind it because you didn't get it the first time. I know you didn't. Why? Because it's a different way of being trained. We are the 1% in the world when it comes down to communication. Me, my colleagues. I do want to recommend one book to you all. One of my books. Okay. One of my books is called The Wealth Formula. And I recommend that you just comment the word wealth if you'd like to get that book. And then we'll send you the link and then you can buy it. And the reason I wrote this book is because we are amazingly good at communicating online. All right. My best day is $1 million. We made $1 million in one day. Listen, how different would your life be if you could really learn how to tell stories? How different would your life be if you could really learn how to navigate online to meet people clear across the world and do business at your own discretion? How would your life look like if you was able to really be able to persuade people to do things that they already want to do anyway? All right. And the problem is that you just have not been persuasive enough to maintain their attention, so they'll do it with you. They want to do it anyway. Are you hearing me? I said they want to do it anyway because you only got one other alternative, and that's what? Kissing up and what? Puckering up, puckering up. Why? Because the way you present things, the person is like, no, only way I'm gonna buy something from you is you're gonna have to bow down to me. All right. And pucker up. But I stopped by here to help you to become a king and a queen this morning. Okay. I don't want you puckering up dealing with folks. I want you to live your life with dignity, honor. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Joyful, peaceful, a lot of money, plenty of money, posterity money, money that goes way beyond your lifetime. And this is the best time in the world ever to be able to do it because all you got to do is become a good communicator with all of this money all over the world. Be sought after, be sought after, be sought after. I just want to see you be sought after, but you're going to have to learn how to communicate if that's going to happen. All right. So if you're interested in that book, I would put wealth in the chat. And my book is on how to 10x your offline income online. I did it. My business colleague, Myron Golden, he wrote a chapter inside of it. And it's a really good book. It's called The Wealth Formula, and it shows you how to 10x your money. I mean, it's the only book of its kind in the world. All right. Sometimes you ain't nothing but one book away from some amazing communication. Sometimes, all right. And the wealth formula could be one of those books to help you do that. All right. Let me pray for you all before we go, because I want to help break some of these chains, some of these communication chains. And I want to see you all as this next week approaches. I want to see you all having some really clear communication with the people that you're talking to. And I want to see you make some sales. I want to see you make some sales this week that you haven't made before because you took the time to really figure out how to break down people's what? Fiction, so they can really see the facts. And some of you all, I like to see you to DM me or send me an email and say, Brother Ricky, it's amazing. I mean, in 1 week, I made some sales that I hadn't made before. And now I'm able to communicate in a way that I wasn't communicating before. And I just want to hear your testimonial, all right? And then we'll announce it.
We'll announce it. We'll announce it because we need to celebrate when things start working out right. Okay, come on, let me pray for y'all. Lord, bless these amazing men and women today. Lord, increase our community, increase our desire to want to help maintain and get the attention of our colleagues so that we can help them to be able to purchase what's in their own best interest so that they can have a better life. Lord, we got things. It's a lot of products here that as we speak, a lot of knowledge, wisdom, understanding that's here. But a lot of this stuff is covert. We don't know who these people are. We don't know what they have to offer. They don't understand how to convey the message so the people will buy their products. But we stopped by here this morning, Lord, to help them out. And thank you that everybody's been so attentive and has such a good listening ear. Now, bless them, Lord. Bless them, Father, that they'll be able to open up, that they'll be able to help the next person to see clearly what's factual, what's in their own best interest. And then that person will be anxious, grateful, glad, gleeful to write them a check. What? A factual check so that they can be better off and they can continue to do business with each other. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. You all have a phenomenal day. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. I love you all. I love you all. Ain't nothing y'all can do about that. And remember that stellar is as stellar does. Have an outstanding day. Now go out here and make some money, okay? All right. God bless you back. Go out here and make some money. All right. Go out here and get paid now. Y'all got the tools. All right. Make it happen. Make it happen. All right. God bless you back, Thomas. God bless you. Have a great day. Phenomenal day, you all. God bless you back there. Have a great day.